Chief Gang, y'all. Shannon Chris is in your town. You better stick around. Stop looking so sad. They bring good news to you. It's all love to you. By Chris and Shannon in your town.
Welcome to a bonus episode of Off Key Podcast. My name is Shannon.
My name is Chris.
Also known as Shankadoodle.
Live Action Key.
And today we actually are having a special bonus episode because today is a really big holiday.
Hey.
It's Father's Day, and we are honored to have our dad with us. Hey, Dad.
Hey.
So, Dad, we just want to talk to you a little bit about some of the things we've been talking to everybody else about on Off Key so far. Thank you for supporting us with this. We really, really do appreciate it.
Always.
And I'm going to just jump in. So first thing we ask people is, what made you laugh this week?
Wow.
It could be anything.
Okay, this is bad, but I'm going to let you know what Donald Trump makes me laugh. I apologize. I know that probably will offend a whole lot of
He's
folks.
the best comedian thus far.
Donald Trump, being that I'm a comedian, and I know the nation's going through, and this is like the last time or the last hour you want to laugh at a president that's supposed to be showing love and care for the nation. But they asked him today if all the people in Oklahoma got sick, would he take responsibility? And he said, no.
No.
That's just funny. That's
yeah, you can't do nothing but laugh at him at this point.
You have to laugh at it. So Donald Trump, you got me this week.
Chris, you have one this week?
This week. Yes, I do. My son.
Yeah.
What doesn't he do? He's growing up, and I'm just watching him mold into stuff. You know what I mean? Playing the games, and hear his conversation with his friends. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It made me laugh this week.
Him talking about you to his friends.
Yeah, that too.
That's funny. Because Chris is officially the old man. And I think that's funny. He realized it through Caden. Like, yeah, you the old dude now.
The old dude, like
he going through the same stuff he put me through.
Chris and Caden says that, and it's funny. Like
Chris was a funny child because he always he would overthink stuff. So where most kids was last, Chris was already on the funny. While everybody was trying to figure it out, we were looking at each other like,
yeah, that's me and Caden.
Catching the jokes early.
Oh, man, what?
My funny this week.
Yeah, what was funny to you?
Brenda Burris, my mother.
The funniest.
She's just funny. So I hadn't been sleeping well. So I was excited. I did something this week. I went and bought a new pillow top for my bed. So I got a new pillow top, new sheets. I bought new pillows. I was like, oh, I'm going to get some good sleep tonight. And I did. Like, I laid down, sleep. 16 minutes into my sleep, my phone is ringing. And normally, once I go to bed, I just like, phone is done for the night. But it's Brenda Burris calling back. And I love my mother. I answered the phone. She says, I did it. I said, what? I figured out how to make peach cobbler.
Oh my God.
I don't have one thing to say. I don't have one thing to say about that. That's my baby mama. That's my baby.
You gotta laugh at her. Like, yeah. I wanted to be mad, but I couldn't do it. Like, I woke up this morning, like, she really called me over and over again, like, guess what? So, thanks, Mom.
She was dead serious.
She was dead serious. So yeah, she's my funny this week. That we talked about in our launch episode, I think, about Stevie and how you put us on to Stevie, how you put us on to Donnie and James Taylor and so much music. But we want to know, what are you listening to right now? Like, what's your current? What you into? And I don't know if it's changed much, but what is it?
I bought a new house not long ago, and I found out that in my intercom system, I can put 6 CDs, and it's really funny. And you can let everybody know I didn't want these questions before you asked me because I wanted to be out the cuff. It's filled with Donnie and Stevie.
Yeah.
Songs in the Key of Life last night. And I know these records so well that I know the keys of the next song that happens next. And so I not only put y'all on, matter of fact, I'm doing a wedding project because I want, you know, the believers to have some music they can listen to as well during their weddings. And I'm redoing tonight, You and I on Earth Together.
Yes,
So I'm actually recording it.
I love that song.
I'm trying to let y'all see what song I'm listening to.
It's a song I talked about on episode 1 on that at the end of that album. That's an instrumental song that he called it like something to his mom that I had never heard before. Like Chris hadn't heard it, and Aaron was.
I never knew the name to it.
And I don't think like CD wise it's listed as a track. I think it just kind of fades into it after the last song or something. But when you look it up on Apple Music, it's listed as a single track. And I thought that was cool because I'm like, I know everything, Stevie. Like, where does new?
Right. Well, you need to tell them why, because you and I would get the lyrics and sit on the piano, and we would have our Stevie concerts. But see, if we tell that, then we got to tell what you don't want your listening or your TV or your internet audience to know. Is you a cold-blooded singer?
Yes, she is. Got an album coming out.
So next I want to know.
She got an album coming out January 1st. Back together again.
Called Shampooka Diddle.
Yeah.
Me back together again with
back
me?
together again with you.
Reunited with myself.
With myself. I'm a singer.
Feeling on herself.
No, that's not happening. Me musically this week, I haven't really changed much of anything new to listen to. I think I like, guess what's funny? The first song that came up, this is funny. Owen Juice Jones. Do you even know who
Why is that up there? Why is that even a thing?
Why is that even in your phone?
Because my name is Shannon.
Y'all want to laugh? I never knew his first name was Owen.
You thought it was Oren?
Yeah, that was Orange.
No, Owen Juice Jones is the first thing in my recent. I don't know what made me play that.
I thought his name was Orange.
I thought it was Orange. Definitely thought it was Orange.
His name is Owen. And he saw you and him
walking
in the rain.
He saw it. That's what he said.
He said he saw it. No, that's the last thing I listened to. What's your last thing that you've been listening to?
I'm about to tell you right now. Well, it's two. It's a new band. They're not new, but they're called The Midnight. It's like this 80s pop. Like it's real killer.
Like it?
But I
would like it.
You would love it. It's spa music. H&M.
Yeah.
My last was Tony Terry, When I'm With You.
Tony Terry.
That's a cold song.
That's a cold song.
That's a cold song.
And let me go and let the audience know I'm working on a hot tune now with me, Tony Terry, Q Parker, and it's really hot. So I'm excited about working with these cats and being a super fan of their music in the 90s and 80s.
That's funny.
I'm about to tell you something. Hold on. I've been on Stevie here too. I don't know why I ran into. I went back and started watching a whole bunch of old Soul Train episodes. And then the 25th anniversary, 1995 of Soul Train came on. Stevie was like, I guess they honored Stevie, and they had a clip of one of his songs, and it made me just go back and really like listen to everything. I'm trying to find the song. Y'all gotta. Cause when I say it, you're gonna be like, that's it. Hold on. Light. Say it. Light.
I don't know it.
You don't know it?
Mm-mm.
I got. Hold on. I gotta say it.
You gonna find it?
Lights, camera, action.
Yeah.
That's
it.
It was something they played on the thing?
Yeah, but I went back and started listening to it, and it's crazy. Like,
I'm gonna look it up. I'll figure it out. No, that was my Orange Juice Jones. That's me. Still.
That's funny.
Yeah, literally that's the last thing I looked up. That and Free by Destiny's Child. Like,
what?
Randomly saw my little sisters this week, and the song came on where we were. So Janiyah and Mari, they just funny already. Kaya too got in on it, so that made it cute. So like I started singing, I was at the top of the hill, they were at the bottom of the hill. So I started singing the song and we were singing it all back and forth to each other. So I think that's why when I got probably back in the car, I looked it up and was listening.
Love, light in flight.
Don't know it.
Hot tune.
Never heard of him. I don't know that song.
You serious?
Hot tune.
We can't listen
Hot
to
tune.
it, but you know, I'll listen. Love, Light, and Flight. All right.
Hot tune.
I'll know it by next week.
Them vocals is crazy.
Dad. This is odd for him to ask. Okay. Durham, growing up. Music scene.
Even in Charlotte, we can do Charlotte.
You can do Charlotte. Like what's the music? Yeah, I would love to hear it. Music scene in Charlotte, far as artists, far as when you were in your 20s and coming up and like
I hung out with the old cats. Grady Siegel, Page, you know, and they used to call me Little Donny Hathaway because I sung all the ballads, and you had the Red Door downtown, and then we did a lot of just liquor houses. We did like.
Was it the Red Door or Double Door?
It was Red Door. Red Door.
Red Door.
It was open. Yeah, it was Red Door. Double Door was here too, but and then you had Excelsior Club on Sunday nights. You know, then me and Mel Gray started doing Jonathan's, which was a restaurant. Me, Mel, and a guy by the name of Steve Gray, who was a killer drummer. And we would do Sunday nights. So I was like doing the church scene on Sunday morning, but Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday, I was doing the Registry Inn, which was out on Woodlawn. It's a old folks' home now, I believe. So that was like me. I was doing that with Lucy Shropshire, a singer. So I was banging out like 19, 20, 21, because I was lying saying I was 23, 24. And so the music scene was real hot in Charlotte then. And musicians were different though. I mean, you had to learn Blues for Alice and some of them hot tunes to sit in with those older cats. And I really miss that. Every Saturday night, if I'm near the church, I'll still drive by Brady's house just for nostalgia, just to remember those times.
Yeah, that's cool. I wanted everybody to kind of see what music's like in different cities and just what the city was and cities are itself. How would you describe Charlotte as a city?
Charlotte was known because it had, you had Michael Porter. You had all these
shout out to Michael Porter.
Flute, right?
Yeah.
You had all these killer artists that, that people knew. And even when Color Purple, the movie, they hired all those guys. I was a little too young then. I really wasn't on that scene, but they had all those guys to come in and do the movie. If you look at the movie, if I watch the movie, Matt Freeman was my roommate. Trumpet player Matt Freeman actually stayed with me for a while. So that scene. And then Durham, I don't want to leave Durham out real quick. You had Chip Sharon, you had KK. A lot of us were real young, and we just had a couple of jazz standards. We could rock George Benson, and we were like hitting all the club sites. And I told Chris, this is funny, Chris and I were in conversation this morning about 4 o'clock. I told Chris that Chip Sharon and I actually had a jazz band and a choir called Revelational Experience, but we was going rocking out churches, in 78, 77, 79.
Wow.
But then your dad, let me go and give some John P. Key trivia. I did one of the first Peter Frampton tours in 1979. I played with Kyle Wendy. I was actually a music director working with Phyllis Hyman in the NCO clubs at 15 years old.
How old were you when you got with Cameo?
The Cameo gig was actually a ride back to North Carolina. I had to be, I was young, Chris, 17 or 18. The drummer at the time, Eric Hines, you had the bass player who still plays with them to this day. We got a gig, and I was working with the Donald Byrd and that whole Blackbird scene, the jazz scene. They had a band called Fun. Yeah, and so I was, a band called NCCU. So I got a lot of exposure, man, at a young. Aaron Mills, the bass player back then, bass player now. It's just like a little brother to me. He's older, but I call him little guy. But yeah, Aaron Mills. Shout out to all those guys, man. They really, really opened the door and gave me some, with my background, I was able to really enjoy all kinds of music and turn you all on as my kids. Shannon, I don't know if she tells it, but she was James Taylor crazy at 5 years old, 4 years old. Chris, you too. Yeah, and Chris as a drummer, I don't even know if he remembers this. I turned Chris on to Mother's Finest just because I wanted him to rock the drums, and rock the. So you guys got to really hear. I was laughing at Chris the other day. He heard a song and didn't know where he knew it from. And I was laughing in the car and I wanted to tell him so bad because I played that song over and over when he was a baby.
That's cool. What would you want somebody to know about Charlotte? Like, what's one thing you would want people to know about the city of Charlotte?
Charlotte is the chill city. I think Charlotte gets a bad rap. They tell us we're old, we don't get it. And being that I've traveled the world, I've traveled the world, and to know this city really gets it. We sit back and laugh at the people that get it late. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Charlotte is the place, to me, I can go to Vegas, have a great time, go to LA, have a great time, go to New York, have a great time. But I'm sure my kids can agree with me. Ain't nothing like getting back to the crib. Charlotte is that getting back to the crib. I did something today I've never done. I love my city so much. I went downtown today and had lunch by myself, sitting at a table. You understand me? Enjoying it. Running into people that I knew back in Huntersville and back in the day. So Charlotte is that chill city where, like any other major city, anything you want,
it's here.
You can find it.
It's funny. So Chris, do you know our 5 principles of the podcast?
No, you do. I never get it right.
Music, travel, family, comedy, wellness.
And love.
It ain't, no. But with travel being one of them, I want to pause and say, like, thank you, because I've been to 49 states because of you and how we grew up. And so the reason I like those being our 5 like things of the podcast is I feel like all those things are medicine. Family is medicine. Travel is medicine. Music is medicine. Wellness is medicine. And so comedy.
And making love.
Yeah. All right.
But like you said, like with all that we've seen in traveling, I never thought, like, in my 20s as a teenager, I used to always tell people, I've seen too much. I'll never live in Charlotte. I've been too many. Man, ain't nothing like home. No. Like, nothing like just being at home. And like the ability to go and travel and learn is great, but like you said, ain't nothing like being at home.
I think that it comes, and one of the cool things, and I had an issue with that for years, that I exposed you guys to too much too fast, so much so that you could not enjoy your adulthood. And I'm loving now, and this is something we can all celebrate. I'm loving now watching you and Chris just kind of settle into yourselves, you know. And as a father, what I've always wanted to do, and I don't know if I went about it the wrong way, was to invest into your next. What are you doing next? You know, I had a conversation with you today, Shannon, off the record, that I would have with Uncle Reggie or one of my business partners, you know, to be able to discuss it. And you can tell Chris, I said the same thing. I said, I haven't talked to him about it, but I ain't afraid to talk to him about it because of the maturity. The maturity has nothing to do with your age or what year you were born. The maturity to me has to do with the miles you've gone and what you've seen and what you now understand, which means what you stand under, you know. And you're fearless because you'll take a chance because you have nothing to lose. And everybody can't say that, you know. Everybody can't say that. So even musically, Chris and I were talking this morning early. That's a song.
Can I ask you something real quick? Is it everybody can't say that, or is it that everybody don't know that? Because I feel like a lot of people, like, I feel like it's a lot of people scared to take those chances, right? Because of fearing that they have something to lose. But if they really knew.
Some people don't know it, but and maybe this is bad to say, but I'm gonna be just as honest or brutally honest as I can. Some people don't know it because they choose not to take the risk. Mm-hmm. You know, and so when you choose not to take the risk, I think it all falls on you. It's your fault, you know. Yeah. To be able to stand up, we never ever would fall or hide behind, you know, racism or the things that we're dealing with in the country now. Because I always taught you guys that, you know, you are who you are, and at the end of the day, you will not be disrespected. Now, even if you have been disrespected, we understand and we get it, you know, because we were able to take the risk. We were able to see and experience things that many people don't. So I kind of agree with you. Some people just don't know because they have not had that experience. But I want them to wake up. I want them to literally see this podcast and make up in their minds, you know, there's some things I've got to pursue or I die.
That's good. I think we got to tap into it about what's going on right now as far as race in the country, and we haven't talked about this yet on the podcast. Kind of corny, but let me go there to say colorblind and explain it I'll give me and Chris, we grew up together and we grew up very different at the same time. Quick, easy to say. So for those of you who don't know, my dad wrote a song and tells a story about us living in a white neighborhood. And one of the 4 times I was allowed to ride the bus as a kid, I think the last 3 times Chris was there and I was in like middle school or high school almost at that point. But as a kid, living in this predominantly white neighborhood and people just being rude, to say the least. I mean, I remember a situation where a man let his dog out on me. And my dad, but dealing with that, being that black girl in the white schools, then leaving from that, we both went to school together at a predominantly black school, then coming into the industry where I'm in, and a lot of times I was back that one black person in rooms. It's always been there. That's my point. Like racism and things like that, it maybe people are seeing something differently in the moment, but it's something I always was aware of. I always had this belief that we don't communicate well in races. I've always said that to myself. I think black people, we don't talk to white people. We have our depiction of what we've seen them to be and what we know them to be too. So we know a lot of things to be factual, but we don't talk to them to understand why they think the way they think or what they don't know. I think there are some white people who really just don't know and clueless. They don't know how to approach us or how to talk to us. And we don't give them that opportunity because we're angry, rightfully angry. I'm not saying not rightfully so, but that's not happening. On the other side, I don't think white people don't talk to us. They know us from what they saw us as on TV and whatnot. So they don't know that we are very intelligent, very smart, and very aware of who they are and what they are as well. So I think that has caused more chaos. All that to say, you know, what do you think? And I know this is such a broad question, so I'm sorry, because I didn't, like you said, you didn't know any of this was coming. What's an answer? What's a start? What's a solution that isn't so, is there a solution that brings us together, or is there a solution that we just say, we got to focus on us right now?
I'm a firm believer as this conversation starts with acknowledgement. We'll never have a conversation if we don't acknowledge that there's a problem. And there's a problem. We're all petty to a certain degree. I'm sitting down at a table today. 2 white girls walked by and their t-shirts just said police. And the white guy beside me, or 6 feet away from me, took a liberty to say, white police matter. You know, would you have said that if I wasn't sitting there? Now, 10 years, not 30 years ago, 10 years, I might have took the table and just threw it at him. You know, but I'm getting better because I'm understanding that you are who you are because of your experiences, right, and what you've gone through. People don't know this. 6 months ago, I got shot at. I'm riding down 85 one morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, and the guys brandishing the flag. They got the flag, Confederate flag, 3 of them. I heard a pop. The pop I thought was in the back of my truck. My ear said it happened behind me. So I'm so crazy. It was around January. And I said, maybe John and left some firecrackers. I don't know why I thought that. I go into church. My manager says, Pastor, you got a cracked windshield. My friend and brother, head of my security, police officer, Calvin Young, says, Pastor, not only is your window cracked, it has a 22 bullet lodged in the windshield. So they shot at me. And I remember them speeding off real quick. So those kind of things, watch this. I didn't get scared. Oh my God. I immediately started thinking about my seed. Chris, Justin, John, Tridell, you know, my baby boys. how would they handle a situation? I was good. I had that boom boom with me. They better be glad I didn't know they shot at me. It probably wouldn't have went like they thought. You understand me? But my thing with racism now, I want to make my sons conscious. Chris and I have deeper conversations now than we've ever had about simple issues, how to handle them. You know, how are you raising your son? What are you teaching him? What are you not telling him? We know the rules. Chris knows if he gets stopped, I don't care how smart he is, because this is going to throw some of your viewers. It's not about sometimes how ignorant you are, it's how intelligent you are. Your intelligence can be a threat. Yes, your intelligence can be a threat.
I believe it is a threat.
It is.
I don't think it can be. I think it is.
So what do we do then? Do we start talking like Sambo to make everybody comfortable?
Right.
So it's a weird time, a weird season. Yeah. And like Christian said, it's a juggle because you don't know. You got to be smart enough to handle every moment. You know, I was feeling some kind of way this weekend about Atlanta until I got all the facts, and now to know this man is dead and you put your foot on him.
Yeah.
You kicked him.
Yeah.
You know, is that where we are? And I could be wrong, and I have to come back on the podcast and apologize. I will, but we don't hang ourselves.
No.
We don't hang our
doing
brothers.
that.
That's not what we do. You know, I'm gonna leave that right.
That ain't no.
And it's happening in different places, and it's like
Right.
fun. It's fun now. It's a joke.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
how I see it.
Yeah. I don't like it.
The COVID is getting to him. He had to hang himself. Like,
No.
really?
Not at all. It's a scary, but it's a scary time. But how do you stay focused? Because I think all of this is distractions. Like
stop right there. And this doesn't have to be long. This answer doesn't have to be long at all. If you see it as a distraction, you stay focused. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got music to do. I got a song to write. I want to knock a vocal out when we finish. I'm always ahead of myself. My grandmother taught me that. When my grandmother first was told she had cancer, she was maybe 94. I always gave her a reason to live. You got to be a VIP. You got to speak for so-and-so. I need your New Year's. I need you for Thanksgiving. I need you to come. And having that will to make it another day. My mother right now is going through challenges, but she got to make it to the 29th. That's her birthday. That whole drive, I got that from my baby's grandmother and my grandmother. You know, the drive to see another day or to do another thing or to invest. And I don't want to blow your whistle and it's your show or whatever, but you being able to take a simple gift and decide, I'm going to use this and I'm going to have people roll up in my front door and I'm going to be a blessing to them, yada, yada. And now you see, and really God multiplying that thing right in your face, and that ain't even your focus. So when you don't get distracted, the small things start to matter. The small things literally blow up right in your face, and you're able to access them. You know, as much as I want to come back in here, have church, fill up that church, have people running around, we have a good time. That's selfish. I know no pastor has said that, but that is very selfish.
Right.
That's what I want. I want that. And let it be known, it's not for the money. I don't need their money. I just want to have a good time. Well, good time's going to kill about 30 people. You need to get somewhere and sit down.
Yeah.
So all the distractions that make us feel good, you know, I was a weed smoker. I had to have weed every morning. I needed weed. I had to have it. So me stopping smoking weed was because weed began to control me. The distraction, when distractions control you, you got to really take the helm.
Yeah.
You on point.
Yeah.
You on point.
Yeah. Okay, well, I can't say speaking of weed, but speaking, I'm not going to say that. Wellness. What would you say?
Same thing.
Shut up. What would you say is your form of wellness right now? Like, what are you doing? You already know I'm always pushing y'all to try stuff. Chris, I still have not gotten Chris. Huh?
If you go to the house, you got to drink stuff, taste stuff, drink stuff.
You do, yes. I almost was going to get Chris to do some sea moss gel tonight, but he went in there and saw it, and he had a whole fit.
Yeah, I got my own sea moss.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I'm doing. I've lost a considerable amount of weight, and I've not told anybody how much or what, but I really have. I've lost, my arms are smaller, my legs, everything. Sugar is a demon, man. Sugar is a killer. And I lost more weight when I stopped doing. I used to drink those little sugar packs that they say are sugar free. When I cut them totally out of my diet,
Who told you to stop?
Some little light skinned girl. But sugar's a killer. And when I shut the sugar down, my energy came back. I'm doing a little apple cider vinegar goalies now, and just the whole cleaning up thing is really good. I just pray I'm not too late because I'm really enjoying how I feel right now.
No, I don't think that's ever
I got a nick again.
situation.
But
can we talk about sugar a little bit?
I got a nick though. I acknowledge I got a nick.
I see you. You got a neck. You got a whole neck. I see it. Listen, something else I saw in the news in the last few days that I'm sure you did too, but I just would rather put some of my thoughts out there about it. The whole Ain't Your Mama thing. Have you seen this?
No, tell me about it.
They're rebranding the whole brand of Ain't Your Mama syrup because of what Ain't Your Mama meant for racism and all of that. And I can't go too far into this, and I'm trying to be cautious. But I just feel like people need to be careful of what some of these brands are doing. Like them they're changing it to something else, but they still are selling you high fructose corn syrup.
Right.
With some caramel coloring in it that's just sugar. That's all that is. When you can buy real maple syrup that came from a maple tree and put that on, whatever instead.
Your point is they're targeting areas that really don't mean a thing.
We don't need it no way.
Yeah, like, right.
We don't. Yeah. So instead of saying like
that's another one of those, as Chris said, a toss up because. Again, we want to be cynical and break it down and tell you, but we still don't do calling her, hey, your mama. Hey, your mama, my grandma. Yeah, we still want to do that. And but again, and I mean, I hope I don't throw the interview, but that's the kind of stuff that make us laugh. We'll sit back and we'll see you going crazy because you want to change your hairstyle. I think they did change their hairstyle a few years ago or change the rag or something like that. But Janiyah looked at the Ain't Your Mama poster downstairs in my house. I have a real one from old school.
Right.
And said, Aunt Johnny Mae, one of my sisters, Aunt Audrey, she was trying to figure out, was it one of my sisters? You know what I mean? So the comedy of these things in our households, I got a statue that I never paid attention to yesterday in my office. And it's a black man taking pennies. And he got big old lips. I never even really looked at it. And I just thought about how they made such a mockery out of what we still call beautiful, you know? Yeah. So what my grandmama and my daddy and what I try to teach y'all, instead of going crazy about what they think about you or what they're trying to say about you, know who you are so you can laugh at them.
At what they're trying to do. Yeah, that's good. Okay. I'm gonna leave you alone. I'm gonna go to our last question of the day that we end with. And it's always, who is pushing you right now in this chapter of your journey? It can be a person, it can be something you've read, it can be somebody you don't know, it can be like Stevie, like it can be anybody, anything. But what's pushing you right now?
I'm tearing up. My daughters.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
My girls are really growing up, and it's a trip with you and Aisha. It was kind of like new, and to see y'all grow up. I mean, it was cool, but we kind of went through the motion together, you know.
Right.
Dang, I didn't want to do this.
No, that's real. That's real.
But Mari and Janiyah, they're so beautiful, you know. And I'm like, wow, they're getting ready to enter relationships, and so it's pushing me. It's pushing me to be the father I can. You know, we always say You know, we want to go on and I'm gonna live my life and I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm gonna be happy. No, shut up, calm down.
Yeah.
You still gotta impact their lives. And so that's pushing the heck out of me. And it's making me make some real good, solid decisions, you know. When you asked me that question, Mari just jumped in my face, you know, and everybody thinks their babies are beautiful, but I got some amazing kids.
Yeah.
Kaya is growing up, like, they're so freaking smart.
Mm-hmm.
So as a father, I'm gonna say something that many fathers never say, man. You think about, I was a straight hood Negro. I mean, I did some things in the street that y'all just, I probably would never tell nobody. And all that comes back to you as a dad when you see your own girls growing up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want them to ever run into the old you know what I'm saying? So I got them guns, and you know, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I want to impact their lives. So when I'm not there, they will make conscious, amazing decisions to go out and pursue what's there. So that's my push. I mean, be it my music, be it the movie, I'm lining everything up. So, you know, they won't want for nothing. At the end of the day, they'll have what's designed for them. Okay.
Woo,
That was amazing.
that was good.
That was perfect.
Thank you.
No.
No, don't ask you nothing.
No.
Okay, all right. He said I can't ask him nothing.
Yeah, that just listen.
Our conversation earlier, I'm sorry, people, I'm not going to tell y'all our conversation earlier, but you brought it back up. That's my push this week. Just to stay focused.
And I want everybody, you know, to just pursue. Don't let the pandemic, my testimony is everything I started to do before the pandemic, I started to shut down. I was like, oh, can't get the house, can't do this, can't do that. And I literally heard the Lord say to me audibly, well, who am I?
Mm-hmm.
You spent all them weeks talking faith and believe and stand on the promise, stand under the covenant and all this. Now you've given up. And I tell you, it's one of the best decisions I made to pursue without fear. And that's why big ups to what y'all doing. Wherever, I don't care whether you go, you know, the traveling, you guys are going to take this thing beyond the Carolinas. I'm loving that. You know what I mean? Because you got something to say and your opinions matter. You know, you two, and I'm not just going to put on you two, I think all of our bloodline, you know, we come from Lizzie and John, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't have, but we never knew it, you know. And then we come from Touch It, the mother of faith, you know. So I want y'all to go get it. I support your whole.
Oh, you said it. So I got to say, she's a part of my push this week too.
Yeah, mine too.
Her birthday was what?
The
11th. And me seeing that video of her praying. And she specifically, this is funny, like, I don't know, or timely maybe. In her prayer, she said, I want to thank God for moving us in this year to this house so that our grandchildren will see it so. And here I am in the midst of buying a house. So just hearing her say that in that time.
Stop it, Shannon. Stop it. I hear
you. I was like, okay, Tata, I hear you. It was.
You know what happened in that, Shannon? If you be honest, you didn't hear or you heard it. Because you heard all of that for years. Yeah. What did it mean? But just her talking. Come on, Chris. Y'all were her favorites. Y'all were her babies. And to hear that and tell you, you can have yours. You can have what you want. You know, that's what she taught. So anything we gain, we can literally look up to words glory and say, thank you. Because, you know, what is it? It's here's a good word. It was engrafted in you. So we don't get things and be shocked. That doesn't mean we're bougie. That doesn't mean we're better than. Our faith says we expect it. You live, you work, you do what you do with the spirit of expectancy. Chris, I'm going to tell you something that I've said behind your back. You and I always musically would lock up, and now I'm using these other guys, and Shannon and I were laughing the other day. My respect for you hadn't diminished because you and I are not in the studio. At the end of the day, you can call rank and say, all right, everybody move over. Here I come. But the fact that you have settled time and you being there for Caden, Man, that's big. And you didn't play in this pandemic. I want everybody to know.
Yeah.
If you think Chris Key is, and he probably wants you to think he's a party animal.
No, sir.
Yeah, if you want to think, if Chris wants you to heat live action like he run around naked around a tree throwing out. No, no, really. He committed, man, these 4 months to raising his son. And I promise you, I'm the testimony. I have not called him yet. And I called him at the crib. And if I blew your thing just now, I'm sorry. You know?
No, you didn't. No,
But-
everybody knows.
But the fact that you commit that time, man, it just means so much, because one thing Shannon taught me, and I knew it already, but Shannon reiterated that they will remember these times. They get these times. These are the little things they're going to remember. So one of the coolest things I said tonight is, and I speak to parents, don't get so caught up into your own thing that you lose sight on your seed.
Yeah.
It's important.
Wow.
It's important. Thank you, Daddy.
Yeah. Y'all gonna use the crying part?
Probably.
You say we're gonna what?
Use the crying part.
Listen, because I'm gonna tell you. Well, I'll tell you that afterwards. That was a blessing. You hit me because what you were saying.
Yeah, hit me kind of hard.
You don't want to cry. Okay. No, I appreciate you for doing this. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into our bonus. Hey, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you, yeah. And like I say on every broadcast, every time y'all interview, hell no!
I'm using it.
That's not okay.
I'm using it. It's a pandemic.
That's what I say to everything that comes against you, everything that
You better
tries
make
to
it work.
You better make it.
everything that tries to put you down. Let me tell you, just look to it and say, hell no!
Hell no.
I'm not doing that.
Yes.
I love you, y'all. Peace
Love
out.
you too. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Please make sure to follow us on Off Key Podcast on
Off Key
Instagram.
Podcast.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. That button is somewhere around here. And make sure Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Make sure you're on there. Thank y'all so much. We'll see you next week.
Love you, Daddy.
Woo! I love y'all. Peace.
That was awesome.